Hello friends, welcome to another chapter of Excel training. In this chapter we'll learn few things about different chart types. Okay, now in the course of this lecture we'll learn types of charts which Excel can generate and example of each type. But before going further, first let's discuss a question over here. Which chart to select for your data? What things you should keep in mind before selecting a particular chart in order to represent your data? Now, it's a very important question, or it's a very common question among Excel users is, how do I know which chart type to use for my data? Unfortunately, there is no cut and dried answer to this question. Perhaps the best answer is a vague one. That is, use the chart type that gets your message across in the simplest way. Now, in order to understand this, so what we have done, we have, with this data set, we have plotted around 6 charts. Okay, and we'll just learn which chart is communicating our data in the best way. See, as far as I am concerned, I feel the column chart, this chart, is probably the best choice for this particular set of data because it clearly shows the information on each month in discrete units. The bar chart over here, it is similar to a column chart, but the axes are swapped, like this month is over here and this number of visitors is on this side. The axes are swapped. But problem with using the bar chart in order to represent this data is most people are accustomed to seeing time-based information extended from left to right rather than from top to bottom. Okay, so this is what we feel is a flaw if we are going to use bar chart in order to represent this data. The line chart, okay, this one. The line chart may not be the best choice because it seems to imply that the data is continuous. Okay, the same argument could be made against an area chart, this one. It gives you a feeling that the data is continuous, which it is not. It is basically month-wise data. Okay, so that is why we feel that line chart and area chart are not good enough in order to show this kind of data. The pie chart, bottom one. Just show you the pie chart. I'm sorry, my dog is barking in the background. I cannot help it. So, extremely sorry for this. See, the pie chart is simply too confusing and does nothing to convey the time-based nature of the data. Pie charts are most appropriate for a data series in which you want to emphasize proportions among a relatively small number of data points. If you have too many data points, like in this case, a pie chart can be impossible to interpret. Okay, and the last one, the radar chart, is clearly inappropriate for this data. People are not accustomed to view time-based information on the circular direction. Fortunately, changing a chart type is quite easy and you can experiment with various chart types until you find the chart that represents your data accurately and clearly. So changing a chart type, I know all of you know it. Just select the chart, go to chart types and wow. Again you can change the chart type to anything. Okay, so now we'll start with our main topic of the day, which is to understand the different type of charts which Excel can generate, and we'll learn more about the chart types. But before going further into the chart types, let me just again show you. In order to insert charts, you have to go to insert, and under charts you have column chart, line chart, pie chart, bar, area, scatter, and few other charts. Okay, and then under column you have your what we say sub charts or different variations of a column chart. In the same way you have in line, pie, bar, everything. So now what we'll do, we'll take first example of a column chart, we'll learn about it, and this is the way we are gonna move ahead during the course of this lecture. So first one is the column chart. Where is it? Column chart. Okay, now let's assume this is the data which we have, like year-wise sales or whatever it can be, sales of mobiles and iPods. Now when you click on column, the first one is clustered column, the second one is stacked column, and the third one is 100% stacked column. So we'll just learn what all these three things mean. And in order to make a simple chart, you have to first select the data, go to column, click on that is clustered column. So this kind of cell will come over here, or this kind of chart will come over here. Now basically column charts are one of the most common chart types. A column chart displays each data point as a vertical column, the height of which corresponds to the value. Okay. Now the value scale is displayed on the vertical axis, which is usually on the left side of the chart, and you can specify any number of data series, and the corresponding data points from each series can be stacked on top of each another. Basically, column charts are often used to compare discrete items, and they can depict the difference between items in a series or items across multiple series. Now, basically when we are making a clustered column chart, so the clustered column chart, it clearly depicts that what does it depict? This is higher, this is higher, this is higher, this is low. In most of the cases, the iPod sales is much higher than the mobile sales. Okay, and widget sales, or sorry, the mobile sales, even though it's increasing, but over a period of time it is decreasing. Like you can take an average over here in order to justify our data. So average is 75 and iPods is 81. So on an average, iPod sale is increasing. Okay, so this is how we show this thing by means of a clustered column chart. The same data in the form of stacked column chart has the added advantage. Okay, because see over here, the mobile and iPods, they are being shown as in a different way. So what you can do, select the data, change chart type, click on stacked column. Okay, now you can see. So it is depicting the combined sales over a period of time. Like over here, let's say there was a dip in sales, and now again it has increased. So this is the combined sales of iPods and mobiles. This is how stacked column what we say chart helps us. And let's assume mobile sales is decreasing over a period of few years. Now 68, 59, maybe 58,000, then 55,000, and then maybe 50,000. So you can clearly see over here that mobile sales is decreasing over the period. So this is the advantage of using the stacked column chart. Now let's assume iPod sales is increasing 72, 73, 76, 86, 95. Instead of this, let's make it 76 so that you can see a variable difference. this can be 77. Okay, so you will see the difference by means if you're going to use a stacked column chart. Now another one which you're going to use over here is in the third type of column chart is the 100% stacked column chart. Like in this case we are showing the value in maybe numbers or sale units or something like that. Over here it will be percentage. Like if you go here, add data labels, this is the numbers and this is the percentage given over here. So this is 100% stacked column chart. It also show column chart in the data can also be plotted by using a 3D column chart. Many people use this type of chart because it has more visual appeal, but even though it's more appealing visually, this type of chart often makes it difficult to for precise comparisons because of the distorted perspective view. If you must use a 3D column chart, save it for situations in which you want to show general trends rather than allow precise comparisons. Okay, so another chart is this cone chart. So it's a kind of stacked column only. So you can, again, for this you can go to here and click on the cones. Like column and cone, it's almost the same. There's not much of a difference. Whatever we learned about over here about clustered column, which compare value across categories by using vertical rectangles. In this case, we compare the contribution of each value to a total across categories by using vertical rectangles. In this case, compare the percentage that each value contributes to a total across categories by using vertical rectangles. So in the same way, you have, instead of the columns, you have cones over here. Okay, so it's not much of a difference. Sorry, this is an empty data chart. So if I just select this data, go to insert, over here, cones. So I can have a cone chart as well. This is a cone chart. You can see that iPod sales is increasing precisely over a period of few years, while the mobile sales is dipping year on year. Okay. So this was regarding the column chart. Now let's learn a few things about the bar chart. So a bar chart is essentially a column chart. If you see, let's say bar chart, yeah. A bar chart is basically a column chart which has been rotated 90-degree clockwise. One distinct advantage of using a bar chart is that category labels may be easy to read. Like in this case, we have the data over here. Like we have mentioned few things about a particular store. Okay, and we're asking respondents to rate them on a scale of 1 to 5, and after that we have compiled the data and strongly agree. So total 100%. So out of like for store locations are convenient, around 100 people they have given their opinion, and this is the way how their opinion is being distributed. Maybe 12 say that they strongly agree that store locations are convenient, and 32% says that store locations are inconvenient, or that means or they are not convenient. Now if you have to make a column chart, what you have to do, first select the data. Like the first option which we are giving you is percent who strongly agree. So for that, just select the data, go to insert, go to bar. Okay, so now your bar chart is ready. But if you see, what bar does is, yeah, the problem with bar chart is it reverses these headings. Like see, the first one was store locations are convenient, it has gone down over here. So for that, what you have to do, click over here, go to format access, categories in reverse order, and keep it as maximum category, and then okay. I'll just delete this thing so that you can know how to make it. So this is the way you have to make a bar chart. Again, I'll just show you. See, formatting tricks we'll learn at a later date. See, when you click on the bar, when you select the data and click on the bar chart, this is the default chart which Excel makes. But the problem with this is these headings or the items, these are swapped, like store locations are convenient. This was the first category, but in this case it has become the last category. So in order to change this thing, you have to click over here, click on format access, categories in reverse order, and this what it will do, it will also swap the percentage to the what we say top horizontal axis. So in order to bring it down, what you have to do, horizontal axis crosses at maximum category, so it will again come back. I'll just remove this thing so that you can have a look at it properly. So this is the way you will create a bar chart. Now suppose you want to make this kind of a chart and you want to include all the parameters which you have been using in your survey. So what you have to do, you have to select the complete data, go to insert, bar, and then you have to click on the stack bar. So this kind of chart will come up. Okay, you have in Excel 2007 you have very nice chart style options, chart style formatting options. So one sec, I'll just show you. Okay, so as of now I'll just remove these, or I'll just change the location of the legend. So for that, format legend, bottom, close. Again the categories are what we say, the vertical category axis has been swapped. The first one has become the last one, the last one has become the first one. In order to change it, right click, format access, categories in reverse order, and add maximum category. Okay, now in order to change the colors over here, you have some inbuilt colors as well, which Excel 2007 has given. So very nicely you can then format your worksheet or your chart. Okay, so this was regarding the bar chart. Now let's learn about another chart in Excel called as the line chart. So this is the line chart. Now suppose if this is the data which you have, just select the data. You can use any of the method which we have learned. Click on the line and your line chart is ready. Okay, now you can see over here I have changed the intervals on the horizontal axis. I have changed the intervals. Now you will ask me how to do it. So for that, what you have to do, you have this chart is there. I'll just first increase the chart size a bit so that you can see it properly. I'll remove this series thing. Go over here, category axis, click on format axis, specify interval units as maybe 6, close. Oh no, 6 is not good, so I have to increase it more, so maybe 12. Now I can see something. If you want to increase it further, you can increase it. Okay, so this is the way you will make a simple line chart. So how to add titles and how to add those things, that I'll come to it later. Now another example. Now select the data which you have, go to insert, line, line with markers. So again your chart is ready. What you can do, you can maybe reformat it, format legend, maybe bottom, just increase the chart size a bit, and as you can see that the markers, these dark boxes, they are occupying a lot of space. In order to take care of these things, right click, go to format data series, go to marker option, click on built-in, just reduce the marker size maybe to 3. Okay, F4, it's not working, F4 is not working over here. So again, data series, marker option, built-in, just make it 3. Okay, same is the case with this one as well, so that you can see the things quite properly and are able to nice formatted charts. Okay, so this was regarding the line chart. Basically, line charts are often used to plot continuous data, and basically they are useful for identifying the trends over a period. For example, plotting daily sales chart as a line chart, like in this case, it may help us to identify sales fluctuation over time. Okay, so this was regarding the line chart. Now one more example I think we have given. Yeah, now suppose if this is the data we have. Okay, go to insert, line. This is again a line chart, but it is in 3D. But frankly telling, we are not able to make anything out of it. Okay, it is definitely not a good chart type for this kind of data, because it makes virtually impossible for us to determine the relative growth of Washington and Oregon. Okay, because we are not able to see anything whether there is increase is there or not. It is very difficult for us to find out whether some increase is there or not. So for this kind of data, this kind of chart is not advisable. So that is why we have just marked a cross over it. So just select the data, insert, line, stack line with markers. You can also change it to, I need to change it to one sec, line with markers, so that again I can see the population and the growth in Canada, in California is much higher than what it is in Oregon and Washington. So this was regarding the basic line chart. Okay, now we'll just learn something about the pie chart. Again, making a pie chart is very simple. Like what we have asked, we've done one survey and we came to know that how many people use Excel 2010 and how many people use Excel 2007. So a wide majority, like if you see, I will first do sum tab. And on this I have to press F4. I think you already know about these things. So only 11% of people are using this is interfering. It's okay. So still the majority of people are using Excel 2007, and 7 and 3 combined figure is around 72%. Okay, so you need not worry if you don't have Excel 2010. Excel 2003 is pretty good as well. So in order to make a pie chart, select the data which you have, go to insert, click on pie. Okay, then you can maybe, by using chart style, you can keep it the way you want. If you want to play around with these figures, like suppose if you want to exclude this particular slice. So again, double click on that. So this is the way you can do it. The very simple things, you can explore it on your own as well. So this was regarding the pie chart. Now another common chart type in Excel is the scatter chart. First let me just open the scatter chart. Yeah, another common type of data in Excel is basically the scatter chart. A scatter chart differs from most other chart types because in this case both the axis displays value. A scatter chart has no category axis. Like we have this data, month, calls and sales, and we want to find out whether there is any relationship between the calls made and the sales which has happened. Like this is our data. So on one axis we are plotting the sales made in the month, and on the other axis we are plotting the outboard calls made in the month. Okay, so this type of chart is often used to show the relationship between two variables. So the chart shows that the two variables are positively related. Months in which more calls were made typically had a higher sales volume. Like in this case, more calls were made, so higher sale. In this case, less calls were made, so less sales. In order to make this kind of a chart, select the data, go to insert, scatter chart. Select the data, go to select scatter chart, and our scatter chart is ready. Now you might wonder why this scatter chart looks different from the chart which I have. One second, I'll first just unhide these things so that you can see it properly. Unhide, just unhide on this side as well. Unhide, yeah. See, you might be wondering why two charts with the same data are looking different. The answer is because the axis values which we have kept, they are different. Now see, in this case the axis value is from 70 to 100. You can also change the axis value in this case. For that you have to go over here on the vertical axis, right click on the format axis, go to fixed, make it as 70, press tab key, again go to fixed, instead of 120 make it 100, close. Okay, and on horizontal axis, instead of starting from 750, let's start from 760. So it is 760. So now the data looks a bit now in the data there is some similarity. Now in order to change these markers to red ones, what you have to do, select any of the marker, go to format data series, click on marker option, go to built-in, select this one, then marker fill, go to solid fill, maybe you will select this one, then your marker line color, no line, close. Yeah, now it is looking somewhat similar. I have done some different formatting over here, that is why there is some difference, but still it looks okay. So this was regarding the scatter chart. Now the next chart which we will be learning over here today is the area chart. Now when we talk about an area chart is basically a line chart in which the area below the line has been colored. Okay, now if you see the example which we have mentioned, it shows an example of a stacked area chart. Stacking of data series enables us to see clearly total sales for each quarter plus the contribution by each series. Like for that, select the data, go to insert area. So this is the area chart which we have made. And in other ways, so what you have to do, you have to tool one, sorry, change chart type, make it a stacked area chart so that you can see it in this fashion only. So this is the way you use the area chart. Now let's see, now let's change it to a 3D chart. Change chart type, a 3D chart. Stacked area in 3D chart. Sorry, Control Z. I want this to be changed to 3D area chart. Now in this case, if you see, my battery is gonna go, so I'll just explain you the area chart and then we'll just end this lecture, and then balance topics we'll cover in the another lecture. We were talking about the area chart. Now, even though this chart has this is an area chart in 3D, even though this chart has a lot of visual appeal, but it has a serious weakness. The data toward the back is often obscured. In this example, the first 3 quarters for product C are not even visible. Okay, but we are only able to see the last quarter. So we'll just try to see what we can do with this kind of a. So that means this is not a right way to show this kind of data. Format data series, nothing is there. We'll just try to bring it up so that you can at least see it. Okay, so this is the way you can many times change the orientation of your chart. I'll just again show you what we did. We went over here, went to select data, and then we just realign the position of C. It was like this. We just clicked on this and moved it up so that you can at least have a look at it. Okay, so thanks a lot for your attention. Hope to see you in another chapter of Excel training, and we'll keep on learning more about Excel charting and other Excel tricks. Thank you.